look, bro, I'm gonna keep it a buck with you like a goddamn dollar store. There is a reason why the modern day world doesn't want men to retain their seed. Let me say that again. There is a reason why the modern day world does not want you to retain your seed. It doesn't want you to be on this practice of semen retention and understand how to finally transcend the emotion of lust and actually start using your sexual energy to your advantage rather than to your demise. So you might be wondering, bro, is this just like a conspiracy theory video? Is this guy just talking nonsense? What the fuck does this all mean? Relax. Sit back, kick back, because your boy's about to break this bitch down real quick like a brick for y'all. Now, what I'm talking about, how the modern day world, society, whatever you want to call it, doesn't want men on semen retention, that is the blatant truth. That is 100% truth. I don't care if you want to make it seem in a way where, oh man, they don't actually purposely do that. It's just the byproduct of all these things in place that men aren't able to actually start practicing this sacred technique and this sacred overall journey that allows them to tap into new levels of their mind, body, and soul. That nothing's by accident, bro. Especially the way the world is constructed, nothing is by accident. Everything is pinpoint detailed right to each and every single speck of dust, man. Every little crevice, every little crack, every little just piece of this puzzle is designed specifically in a certain way to get a specific result. And that result is for men to be docile and for men to be easily able to control. This is something that I really started understanding when I read the book Hard Times Create Strong Men. If you haven't read that book yet, man, you are missing out. That is a fire book. It's like as thick as a Bible, bro. It is just so much condensed, packed information. Something that we as men growing up should have had our fathers teach us. Maybe your father has taught you that, but a lot of us, our fathers were working, we're doing this, we're doing that. They didn't have the time to really think and sit and actually ponder about these things and connect the dots. This man, Stefan Arnio, put it all together and just dropped it for you. And a lot of the things that he talks about in that book predicts things that happen in 2020, etc. But overall, the main message I'm trying to say from that book that I got is that there are certain implementations, practices, and strategies and overall plans set in place to rob men of their masculinity. And I don't care. I'm not trying to be no Andrew Tate. Not trying to be no red pill. The Matrix is out to get you, stuff like that. I'm just trying to tell you the truth, the cold hard facts. And the facts are masculinity, your masculine energy, your drive is contained with your goddamn nutsack, man. It's contained within that area of your body. It's not the only place that it can be at, but it's generated there. Think of it as the overall engine to make your masculine drive run. Guess what? If you are able to drain that energy before it even raises up to your higher centers, before it raises it up to the ability for you to use it to your advantage, to elevate yourself mentally, physically, and spiritually, guess what? You're gonna remain complacent in life, you're gonna remain in the same position, and you're gonna remain overall, look, man, when I start speaking of facts, the cops come out. The cops come out. All right, let's get back to it. But all that stuff is gonna make you overall just coherent to whatever agenda someone else tells you. See, sexual energy is not just like, you have to kind of unlearn the programming they told you, where the only thing that you correlate sexual energy to is sex, is creating a kid, is pleasure. That same force, that same cosmic force is your drive as a man, is your fucking fuel as a man. Yes, food is fuel. Yes, air is fuel. Yes, water is fuel. But this shit right here, your sexual energy, your overall life force energy, is what really allows you to take life to the next level on all domains of life, on all different aspects of life. If somebody is trying to control you, is trying to keep you in a little box and keep you in a little cage, why would they give you the opportunity and the overall resources to carve out your own lane and carve out your own escape plan? That is why there's so many different things placed in this world specifically to rob you of that innate drive and that innate masculine essence that finally lets you be like, bro, fuck all this shit. I've been living a lie. I've been living in this like fairy tale land, and I don't want to be able to just not tap into my highest potential on all domains in life. I'm sick and tired of living my life on 50% of my potential, on 30%, on 40%. I want to tap into the full 100%. I want to connect myself to a higher source. I want to be the best version of myself, not only for myself, but to help humanity, to help awaken the consciousness of our overall society, to keep evolving spiritually, keep evolving mentally, keep evolving as a race in general. So you take that out of the equation, guess what? Men are just going to be docile, men are going to be complacent. And in that book that I stated before, Hard Times Create Strong Men, it brings an example of a bull and an ox. So the bull has his balls left, has that innate masculine energy still with him. And guess what? There's like bull riding contests, there's bull chasing contests. Like those motherfuckers will just kill people. It doesn't have this like docile little like, oh, I'm just gonna let everybody kind of use me and abuse me. But the ox who's got its balls snipped off, neutered, guess what? It's the work animal. It's the beast of burden. That's what they call it, the beast of burden. It has to carry all this weight with it. It's got to carry all this equipment with it. It's got to do all the heavy, dirty work, and it's just not able to ever kind of use that. My bad, phone was about to overheat, but it's not able to use that energy to actually improve its life, to actually take it to the next level, to actually just overall say enough is enough. I'm not trying to be in this position where I'm told what to do it, how to do it, and stuff like that. And this is the same analogy that can be put to your life. If you always are directionless in life because you don't have that drive, because you don't have that connection to your spirit, to your soul, to your higher faculties as a man, guess what? You're going to look externally for directions, for overall your path in life. And when you do that, guess what? You're just going to be seen as a cog in the machine that just gets placed into a little part of this entire system that's just going to keep it running. You're never actually using your own mind, using your own body, using your own capabilities, your God-given capabilities to create the vision that you were godly gifted with. The type of intuition that only you get, the type of innovations that only you get, the type of God-given insights that only you get. They rob you of that. They disconnect you to that source. Like a lot of people don't realize this, and I know people who watch this channel, who watch the main channel, are tapped into this, but sometimes you need to just get deeper and deeper into it. But the main majority, the main population of men will never realize this because everything is so tempting in their way. There's junk food, there's porn, there's just promiscuous women all over the place. There's just this guy telling you got to get rich, and that guy telling you got to get this Lambo, and this guy telling you, like, there's just too much stimulus to the point where you don't know your direction in life. And the more you give away the energy, the more you give away the attention externally, the less attention and energy you give to yourself internally. The more energy you give to yourself internally, the more you'll be able to awaken those spiritual senses. This is why I say so much on this channel that self-improvement is not enough. That this surface level stuff that you're doing, where it's like working out or just better hygiene, looks maxing, that's great, that's fine, whatever. It maybe get you starting on this path. But if you truly want to break out of the matrix, if you truly want to become your best version, if you truly want to see what life really can, the capabilities you have within this life, what life really holds for you, what your divine duty, your dharma or purpose is, then you have to understand these higher, just overall ideologies, which taps you into not just working out, but like biohacking, not just mental health, but psychology, not just social skills, but spiritual knowledge. you have to upgrade and you have to level up and you have to graduate from the surface level things. You can't just be living in freshman year of high school your entire life and thinking that you're going to become a college graduate, if that makes sense. And these types of things are robbing you from even being aware of that. Sexual degeneracy, I would say, is the most impotent and most used way for men to keep them docile, to keep them weak, to keep them complacent, and to keep them as little pawns on the chessboard. This is why it's so important for you as a man, if you're truly on this mission and you're truly on this journey of mastering the mind, body, and soul, to truly be able to be self-realized and become a divine vessel for God. It is so important for you to retrain this sexual reflex and use it to your advantage. Use this overall energy, this generative source and this generative principle to your own dreams, not to your own demise. Becoming the master, self-mastery, becoming the master and not being the slave, not succumbing to becoming a slave to your senses, to your sensual pleasures, and to overall sex in itself. Remember, sex is not evil, it's not bad, it's none of that. I hate how a lot of people who talk about semen retention will make it seem like sex is disgusting, this and that. Bro, the only reason you're here is because of sex, okay? It's a sacred energy exchange. But people in the modern day world, a lot of different things, take something that's beautiful, they take something that's sacred and butcher it and make it just degenerate. And you're seeing with a lot of things in this world. Music, for example. Like, music is literally a form of God, a form of the divine expressions of this existence. The sonic frequencies, the vibrations that you can't see, but you feel internally and your ears will pick up. A lot of people butcher that and make it all about money, sex, drugs, and stuff like that. And that's like the biggest, most popular music sources out there. I'm not saying I don't listen to that. Like, I've been programmed to listen to it. That's one of the hardest things for me to essentially break out of. But the more aware of I am, the more I listen to it, I'm like, man, what the fuck am I listening to? Why am I programming myself to further be in this state where, again, now they've lured me in through music to go rob me of that innate masculine energy for me to be complacent. See how everything works in that like little circle, that triangle or circle of death, of just degeneracy? You have to wake up to this, bro. You have to fucking wake up to this. And I'm saying this as a person who is slowly waking up to this. I'm not saying I'm enlightened, I'm this, I'm that. But I see it and I understand it and I know what is going on. And hopefully you're picking up what I'm putting down, because I wish somebody gave me this game when I was younger. I wish someone put me on this type of stuff when I was coming up. Because I would have saved so much time that I wasted on chasing women, on watching porn, on just overall living in a state of lower desires. There's so much more to life, bro. I'm telling you, as a man who's been on this path, on this journey, not just semen retention, but just overall trying to master my mind, body, and soul, you will feel so much euphoric bliss just being alive that no matter how much dopamine you can get from these other sources, it can't compare to it. Think of dopamine at this level, and bliss is just miles ahead of it. There's different levels to pleasure. The highest is fulfillment, in my opinion. But bliss is like a couple steps below that. Dopamine spike is not that high up on the list, bro. You can get a dopamine spike from watching a TikTok fucking short. You think that's really something that you should be pursuing in life? Just those little cheap hits of dopamine? Train your dopamine for something bigger, something better, something that's more lasting. It takes longer to get to. Like when you're doing a workout, it doesn't feel that great, but once you're in the flow of it, man, you get that. The endorphins make you feel much more dopamine and blissful and just euphoric than just that cheap little hit of, oh, look at this, look at this, look at this, or junk food, or just watching porn, or just having a one-night stand. I'm telling you, retrain your mind and retrain that sexual reflex, because some society, some whatever you want to call it, conglomerate of people are trying to rob you of that. And it's not like something, quote unquote, you can say it is evil and stuff like that, but to me, I don't like to put black and white and just this and that. It's just part of the game. Don't try to fight against and stuff like that, but overall, be the change, be the beacon of light. This is why it's so important on this practice to not only show people what can be done through this overall journey, but show them like, dude, it is possible. Some people don't think it's possible to actually be able to break free from these barriers, from these psychological barriers holding you back and making you live in your lower worlds. A lot of people can't conceptualize that. When you are the beacon of light that does that, you awaken and ignite the fire in somebody else. Like if you take a room full of darkness, you light up a match, that match is still gonna be illuminating the entire room. And if you take that little match and you light someone else's match, and you light someone else's candle, and you light someone else's lantern, the whole room becomes full of light. That's what you gotta do. That's what your soul is here to do. Illuminate. And this is one of the most potent practices to do to get to that point. Because if you're living in your lower worlds like the society wants you to live in, you're never going to actually be able to look past just the ego and just the sense world, the sensory world. You're never gonna be able to look past it. And what do I mean by that? So you're never gonna be able to realize, actualize, there's much deeper things to this life rather than having fun, rather than just seeking pleasure. I'm not saying don't have fun and don't seek pleasure, but I'm saying make that a byproduct of what you're actually pursuing in life. Make fulfillment, like I said, the highest feeling or the highest state you can get to as a man. Make that the end goal. Don't make pleasure the end goal. Because if you get there, pleasure is gonna come regardless, bro. It's gonna come regardless. Make that the end goal. And the way you do that, like I've talked about so much on this channel, that I actually dropped on the Patreon. Shout out to the fucking private Patreon community. If you want access to exclusive content, full guides, in-depth occult lectures, as well as get access to our monthly masterminds. We're doing 2 a month now. Just upped it up to, again, hey, relax. My dog's about to knock over the camera. Watch out. 2 monthly masterminds a month, where we hop on live calls with myself as well as everyone in our private inner circle group chat, where we're able to converse about these topics, where you're around a community of like-minded men who are also on this path, so you don't feel like you're going crazy, so you don't feel like you're just an outcast. Center yourself in communities and people that are around you to the point where you see them progressing on this path and it motivates you to keep on going on your path. So all that stuff is there within the private Patreon community. Go check out the links posted in the pinned comment of this video. Within the pinned comment of this video, also there's links to apply for one-on-one personalized coaching with me if you want to just work directly one-on-one with me. So you can just send out an application, as well as booking one-on-one consultations, just a one-on call with me. We could discuss whatever it is that you're going through. Everything is going to be posted in the pinned comment of this video. I'm talking about the weekly newsletter, the free community Discord, all that good stuff. Go check it out. But what I was saying in the private Patreon community, that video I dropped, Becoming a Divine Vessel for God, that is when you have that aim, when you have that goal, when you have that purpose, purifying the mind, body, and soul to the point where God, the universe, the supreme source can use you to act out its will. You can't lose. There's no failures on that path, because now all these temptations, now all these distractions are just kind of just in the background. You've tunneled off what you were really brought here to do. You start awakening to those spiritual senses. You start to be able to hear that intuition calling from God. You're able to find out those universal insights that are within. And that stuff guides you. It becomes the inner guru. It becomes the inner guide, allowing you to navigate this game of life properly, allowing you to deter and bob and weave away from all these things that society throws at your way, to not be able to actualize your fullest potential. And then you find the direct path right to it. I'm telling you, you might not believe this, but retention in itself will not get you to that point, but it just kickstarts the entire process. That's why it's so important to do all the practices that come along with retention that I talked about within the Art of Retention ebook. If you guys haven't got that yet, make sure you go run it up after this. Just go on the main channel, Fulati Fitness, and just search up how to succeed on semen retention. There's a full video guide I made talking about all the things, as well as you'll be able to find the link to the ebook, free ebook, as well as on the main channel. Just go on the playlist I got right there. There's a whole audio series of that same ebook. So if you want to pop it in while you go on a hike, while you go on a walk, while you're at work, while you're working out, whatever it is, you can listen to that and gain and absorb all that knowledge. So you got to do all these practices along with semen retention. But when you actually start transcending above your lower nature, it kickstarts this whole process of spiritual purification, of just ascending above your animalistic nature. And when you do that, like we had the analogy of the ox and stuff, you're not the ox anymore. You're not someone that can be pulled this direction. Hey, do this, do this, do that. You become the bull. You become on your bullshit. For all the Tauruses out there, I'm a Taurus. We get on our bullshit. This is why a lot of people who are into astrology and stuff like that have told me personally that since you're a Taurus, this and that, like you already had that bullshit part of you, bro. You already had that bull energy to you. So when you got hopped on semen retention, it just made you more bullish. That's why you should invest into Fulati Fitness Coin. We on that bull run right now. We getting bullish. And you can get on your bully shit when it comes to this practice of semen retention, because now you're taking and grabbing life by the balls and saying, I don't want to do that shit anymore. I don't want to be a slave to somebody else. I'd rather be a servant to God. Let me say that again. I'd rather not be a slave to somebody else, but I'd rather become a servant to God, because you're going to serve a master regardless if you want to or not. You can master yourself, the mind, body, and soul, which is self-mastery. But when you do that, guess what? You awaken that connection to God. And God is helping guide you. Rather than being chained to some type of wheelbarrow and stuff like that, and somebody is, yeah, let's go, yeah. Like, you know, they're holding the reins on the horse or whatever. Hopefully you understand what the fuck I'm saying. But no one's doing that to you no more. It's God on your side guiding you. He's your personal trainer. He's your coach in the corner in the boxing ring. Would you rather have that with God? And when I'm saying God, it's the universal will. It's the inner connection to the divine that you have within, which is only accessed through inner knowledge or spiritual wisdom, aka gnosis? Or would you rather have this business, this overall agenda, political, overall stuff like that, pulling you this way and that way and this way? And it might not be consciously, but they're doing it subconsciously to you. Which one would you rather have? The choice for me is pretty fucking obvious, bro. I want God on my side. I want that fool on my side, okay? So that is why it's so important to finally start to take this practice, not just semen retention, but just overall your awakening process, if you want to call it that, seriously. Don't take it too seriously. Don't get too wild out and crazy and just go into different rabbit holes, because this matrix, finding out how to break out of this matrix, can lead you to another matrix, which encapsulates your mind and makes you think about this conspiracy and that conspiracy. Yes, it's good to actually understand these types of things, but sometimes you can get lost in the sauce. You're lost without the sauce, but when you overload, you might get lost in the sauce. Once you have the base level knowledge, what you should really be focusing on is the techniques, the tips, the overall journey of elevating to higher levels of consciousness, to your overall higher faculties. Because once you get to that point, bro, I'm telling you, like I've said before on this channel, all the answers are already within you. You will know what to do. You will know what to essentially go after. Your intuition starts kicking in. It's that God phone line calling in, telling you, all right, take this next step, take that next step. That gut feeling, which most people are disconnected, not only because their guts are all fucked up because society's giving you pesticide filled food, filled with all these things that just kill your gut lining. That's why you got to understand these types of things when it comes to biohacking. If you're actually serious about becoming the best version of yourself mentally, physically, and spiritually, because this body is the temple, is the vehicle, is the vessel for you to actually awaken the soul. But if you don't understand these types of things, you're not going to be able to conceptualize why society's doing this, why society's doing that, why society's doing this. It's just at the end of the day to keep you weak, complacent, and docile. Call that evil, call that whatever you want, but that's just a game. That's just what it is. You just got to learn how to play it properly now. Without the understanding of what the game is, how are you going to play it? So if this is kind of like a wake-up call to you, let that be a wake-up call to you. If you kind of understand these topics, make this be a boost to keep pushing in the right direction, telling you that you are on the right path. Let this be synchronicity from the Supreme Source, using me, using my channel, using my message to tell you, hey bro, keep on pushing, you're on the right path. Don't think you're an outcast, don't think you're going crazy. There's a community of men who are also on this same journey. I'm not talking about the guys on just self-improvement, I'm talking about the guys who are on self-mastery, who understand these spiritual concepts, who understand the deeper esoteric secrets of life. We're searching for truth. We're becoming divine vessels for God. I'm talking about that. There's community of men like that out there, not just from my channel, my Patreon, my coaching packages and stuff like that. They're just out there and they're just on the same path. Realize that. When you understand that, because we as humans are social creatures, when we see confirmation from other sources who are also on this path, we get more confidence. I'm telling you, this is your source of confidence. It just made it from one guy, but you see this whole channel, you see this whole brand on that same path. Let that settle in. Let that really, let that stuff marinate in your mind. You're not alone. And even if you're quote unquote alone in your social environment, you're never alone because you have that inner guide, that inner guru that's within. That's always there. That's always waiting to be awakened and help you out along this journey. People are trying to rob you from that. Make you feel more alone even though you're in a room filled with hundreds and thousands of people. Because you don't have that inner connection to yourself even. You don't even feel comfortable in your own body. Some people literally feel like that. I've been in positions like that where I just did not feel comfortable I just didn't know who I was. And I'm not saying I figured out everything. When you start taking steps in the right direction, you peel off the layers of who you think you are and you start uncovering the person that you really are, the individualized soul that you really are. Hopefully that you picked up what I'm putting down. And this process comes along with retention, with the spiritual wisdom, with psychological insights, with the healing of the body through biohacking, stuff like that. All these types of things are placed in this one package, in this one overall path that helps you take off this layer, that layer, that layer, keep going, keep going, keep going till you become self-realized. Society doesn't want people who are self-realized. Society wants people who are quote-unquote NPCs or bots. Why? Because it helps them in their agenda. It doesn't want people to create their own movements, create their own vision, manifest their own reality. It wants people to live in their game. If you're ever growing up and you got like brothers or you just got siblings or just got cousins, and when you were playing with them, they played one game, you're like, bro, I'm sick and fucking tired of this game. Let's go play basketball. And they just did not let you. Everyone was like, no, blah, blah, blah. It's the same type of thing. Dude, you just gotta get sick of playing someone else's game. Go play the game that you want. Play the game, not that you like materialistically want, but what your soul desires. What will give it fulfillment? What will give it actual source of bliss walking throughout their everyday life? Play that game. People are trying to rob you from that game. People are trying to take you away from that game, trying to make you play their game and force feed you and make you think that this is the only game there is to be played. Break out of that mindset, bro. And I'm going to be talking about that more in depth. I've already been breaking stuff down with the ancient texts within the private Patreon community, but I'm going to be making a full guide of how to quote unquote break out of the NPC mindset, how to outmaneuver the matrix within a full guide within the private Patreon community. So if you're interested in that, again, every link is going to be posted in the pinned comment of this video. Help support your boy. Get up on some gang, man. Like, I'm telling you, bro, retention in itself, the whole practice of transcending above your lower animalistic nature, is the kickstart to this whole process. I don't care about all the quote unquote benefits that you get along the way. Yes, I've experienced them. I've experienced them in my day-to-day life right now, every single day, and it's like my new normal. But this is the real reason why you should be retaining. You gain back the power that you've always had within. You take back all the different types of energies and the capabilities that you have. You take that back and plug it into your life and use that to manifest your dreams into reality, to alchemize your inner vision and bring it out onto the external world. What else really is there that can beat that? Female attraction, energy boost. That's great. Mental clarity, great. But all those things are just little pieces of the puzzle that help you build up this. You feel me? You picking up what the fuck I'm putting down? Society doesn't want you to have that, bro. This is why you got to start to take things on a third eye, bird's eye view level. Not just thinking that, okay, everybody else is doing this, so I'm gonna go follow them. Everybody else thinks this is normal, so I'm gonna go follow them. Use your own brain. Use your own mind. Actually think, actually ponder, is this what I want with my life? Is this what I was brought here to do? 9 times out of 10, you will say, no, it ain't. So what are you gonna do about that? Are you gonna remain a slave to your sensory pleasures, which society builds out specific things to make you essentially funnel you into ways where it just drains your energy again? Okay, why is fast food so cheap? Why is it so advertised? Why do they have these different types of colors, these different types of commercials, these different types of marketing schemes to make you literally subconsciously attracted towards it? Why is porn free? Why is sexual degeneracy so promoted in music and fashion and this and that? It's just easy access for them to drain you of your energy because you've been so used to it. You've been so trained. Like, think of it. This is a great analogy before we wrap things up. If you ever heard of the Pavlov dog's experiment, you'll pick up exactly the analogy I'm about to make. So in this experiment, this guy used to ring a bell to his dog and then give him a treat. Ring a bell, give his dog a treat. You do this for months so it becomes trained in their programming. It literally becomes a part of their identity, of their just overall beingness. The dog associates that ringing of the bell to, I'm gonna get a treat. Then he stopped doing it, stopped giving the treat. He would ring the bell, but he would see that their mouth would start to salivate, would start to drool, because it thinks it's gonna get that treat. You see a promiscuous picture of a woman, or you see some type of just sexual content, and your mind is so trained because programming and stuff like that, and it's in your biology. They're using your biology against you. So this is why it's so important to become the master of the body, not succumb to become a slave to it. But they use that against you. So when you see that, you go directly to this whole mode of, I need to release, I need to release, I need to release. I can look at a sexual piece of content right now, or very attractive woman right now. I have the conscious awareness that I don't need to go do nothing about that. I can go look at it and say, whatever. This is the whole point of retraining your mind, retraining your body, reprogramming the mind, reprogramming the body. So you essentially build up a buffer time or a delay time between you and your reactions. If you let emotions dictate your actions, you're going to be pulled in so many different directions, man, and you're never going to be able to actually pursue what you want in life, because this thing's going to make you angry, so you're going to wild out, punch this guy in the face, go to jail. This thing makes you horny, so you're just going to go out, start chasing women and stuff like that, and take your life in the gutter. this thing makes you sad, so you're just gonna be depressed all day in your fucking bed. Your emotions cannot dictate that, and they're pulling the strings, bro. They're pulling strings. People are paid millions and millions and millions of dollars to make things like Instagram or TikTok or different porn sites and whatever, just overall dating apps, and showing you what you quote unquote want in life. They're telling you what you want in life, and they're designing certain things to lure you into that little trap, to just drain you of that energy, drain you of that energy. So you just become like zoned out. Oh, I'm just gonna go to work, then I'm gonna come back, go watch Netflix, go swipe on Tinder, go do this. Dude, this is not what you were brought here to do as a man. Wake the fuck up. Wake up. Do all the great benefits of self-improvement, but I'm telling you right now, just working out, just doing this, just doing the surface level things ain't gonna get you out of this hole that you're digging yourself into. You might not even be aware of it, even if you're on self-improvement. This is why you need to understand higher level concepts. Dive into the ancient wisdom of the past, because they predicted all these things, because they talked about all these things. They mastered the art of self. They mastered the science of self. Without that information, without that knowledge, you're always walking through life pulled by different emotions, pulled by different overall stimuluses and impulses, to the point where you're just a reactive animal. You're just somebody who reacts simply off their instincts. And those instincts are trained into you. They're trained into you as a youngin'. Break this cycle. There's a good little section in Rick and Morty where Rick tells Morty like something about how quote unquote love is just a chemical reaction that makes you emotionally charged in this way and that way. I'm not saying love is bad or anything like that, but it just applies to this. Let's substitute lust instead of love for what he was talking about. Just go look up this clip. It's pretty funny. He says all this stuff is just a chemical reaction. Break out of the cycle. Look to science or something like that. Look to spiritual science, bro. Break the cycle. Because once you break the cycle, man, now you're actually finally living. Now you're actually living life and actually building up the type of life that you want. Not what somebody else told you to do. Not building up someone else's dream. Not you being a cog in the machine for someone else's agenda. But rather becoming a divine vessel for God to act out your divine will, your duty, your mission, your purpose, that you were brought here specifically with unique traits, with unique skills that only come with this unique body that you were given, with this unique psychological makeup that you were given to actually accomplish. Don't do it for me. Don't do it for the next person. Do it for yourself, your higher self, for God, for the universal will of humanity. Do it for them. And this is literally one of the first steps you can take towards actually pursuing that path. By breaking yourself free from these barriers, from this self-sabotage you've been so accustomed to. Once you break that out, man, there's nothing holding you back. There is nothing holding you back. And there it is, man. It's been your boy out here in the field, in the flesh, dropping y'all that game so you guys can make these gains. And I'm out of here. Peace.